Phil,
This meeting is being recorded.
yikes.
Whoa.
And as
That
Phil
was
always likes
intense.
to say, we are in a two-party state, so if you don't want to be recorded, then you should leave now. Okay, play from start.
I love that 2 clubs.
Okay, so this is a fun topic, club opening bid and partnerships. Harmony. Okay, by Phil. Okay. The evolution of a bridge player. First, we learn the mechanics. A lot of you have done that through Kidda and Hool. Then you start learning how to do some playing, declare a play. Then you learn some bidding.
And what about the School of Hard Knocks?
And then you learn some defense, including opening leads. And then you play casually. And then he would like to point out there are a lot of other ways you can learn besides Phil's amazing lectures. There are books and websites, and you can get a daily newsletter from Audrey Grant. There's the free stuff on Bridge Base Online, BBO. There are classes where you can pay people lots of money, and you can talk about what you did. And like if some people know in Bridge Base Online, you can look at the history if you've been playing some hands and other people play them and see how they played them. How they bid them and played them, both. And then when you got your guts, you're ready to go, and maybe someone will do on Saturday.
Oh,
you
God.
go play competitively. Okay. So a bridge is a partnership game. We've talked about that. Phil talks about all the time. You support each other. Who knows goes, the partner knows where to go, then follow, trust your partner, and celebrate when you get things done right. Different moments have different needs, just like any other kind of relationship that we all are in.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to interrupt. Martha knows about this a lot because just this last weekend, she and her partner won the pickleball championship.
Oh, right.
Yay!
Yay.
It was tennis, but that's okay.
Oh, it was tennis? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Even
The
harder.
the funniest story about it was our game on Monday morning. We were going to play. He was also my bridge partner. We were going to play bridge if we lost, and we were like, "It's a win-win. If we win, we keep on going. If we lose, we get to play bridge." But we are a partnership both on the tennis court and on the bridge table. Okay. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so Phil would like to point out that there's 2 different kinds of bridge out there. A lot of us just like going play with our friends with some wine, have some dinner and laugh and say, what would you do if I had this hand? And then there's the competitive bridge that some of you may dip your toes into, like Tilton, and you have to do the bidding box and things like that. But let's look at the keys to partnership in these 2 cases. You need to laugh, have fun. Don't criticize, marvel at the infinite variety of the game and so many hands where no one knows what to do. Now let's look at competitive bridge. What do you think is going to be there?
No laughing.
No laughing, no fun. Don't criticize, and you marvel at the infinite variety
Wow.
of the game. So many hands where no one knows what to do. They have a lot in common. And important to lead your partner's suit. Listen to your partner and lead their suit.
Keep them happy.
Keep them happy. Be kind. 80% of partner mistakes are your fault. You can't blame your partner for your mistakes. When a hand is done, move on to the next one. I was listening to the Sorry Partner podcast. One guy says, I give myself 10 seconds and then I move on.
Good idea.
It's really a good idea because it can be very upsetting when you feel like you screw up, or maybe your partner does, but usually it's me. And if you let that really get under your skin, you got to have a certain amount of Teflon for that and just go on. There's always another hand. So I like that one. Sorry. Go ahead.
If there's time between hands, don't discuss bridge. Just, be friendly and talk to the other people. stick to your agreements. I know, I panic and and I'm like, okay, we said we're gonna do this. I'm brave, I can do this. If your partner makes a strange bid or a defensive play, ask yourself, why? You're trying to listen and be a good listener to your partner. What are they trying to tell me? And the best way to improve to play is to play a lot. And that's what Phil always says, the time at the table and making those mistakes, because you can't do it right until you make the mistake wrong. And review the results afterward. What happened at the other tables, not just yours. Ideally do this with your partner, but focus on improving your own game, not partners. It's interesting that's something that when I play duplicate, and I'm just a sort of beginner, mediocre player, and I kind of write things down, and when you go to and you put a little circle around that one, I'm going to see what what we didn't really know what to bid, and it didn't turn out well. I'm going to circle it and go back when we get all the hands at the end. We get now on email and figure out what we did wrong, and I never do. And I always think I should do that because Phil would say I would get to be a better bridge player.
Number 7, Martha and everyone, is really, really true. I do, because I'm more analytical, I do go back and look at the BBO hands, and then you can compare to what the other pairs, in your direction did, how they bid, how they played or defended, and you really improve your game. You really improve it because you say, why did I only make 2 spades and everyone else is making 3 spades? What happened? And so, 80%, it really is 80% of it is under your control. Sometimes the opponents will get this miraculous opening lead and it sets you, but most of the time it is within your own capability. And the thing about your partner being at fault, well, maybe you could have signaled much more strongly so that they would, it was just like a no-brainer. Of course you're supposed to lead that suit. But yeah, a lot of it is under your control.
Okay. And choose a game that suits your mutual interests. Play up only if you both want to. So make sure you're both comfortable where you are. And that's a nice be about the partnership.
What do you mean by play up, Martha?
I know like sometimes there are different levels of when I go to Quick Tricks on Monday night, San Francisco, there's like below certain master point
Okay.
and other ones, and I don't want to play at the shark table over there.
Right,
But
different
sometimes
levels of competition.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
But also it goes for your individual partner, the partner that you pick, because it's not personal really. Some people you just know are better players than you are, or that you might be slightly better than they are. And some people just want to play up. I personally like play up with somebody who's better because I'll learn more that way. And, it's
It
mortifying.
works the same in all games, like playing tennis,
Yeah.
playing golf.
So you mean by picking a partner who's better than you? And
Yes,
you know
you're
it's better
better,
than you?
better.
Okay,
Yes, 'cause
okay,
you
yeah, it
learn.
makes sense.
Mhm.
And it's
and
not
playing
about, it's not personal. It's
No,
sort of
and
just
playing against
quantitative.
better opponents too, because if you play in a very comfortable situation, you all will be staying at the same level. You will never learn anything new.
Well, that's what they say, but okay, Chris, here we go. I think that for people that are beginning, it's really good to just get comfortable with those bidding boxes and the sort of etiquette and
Oh,
that kind of
most
stuff.
certainly, yes, most
Yeah.
certainly. Just play a lot, and then when you
Yeah.
feel comfortable, just start playing with somebody different. As a like if you always play with Susie, try someone else besides Susie.
Okay. See, as Phil always says, there's never or always anything that deals with bridge. When starting a new partnership, talk through the agreements you played before. So the newbies, they don't even really understand what it is. But some people might understand some of the things we've already learned in the past. But expect hiccups anytime you add a new agreement, expect 3, not 1, not 2, 3 disasters before you vote for it. And they talk about that sometimes on the Sorry Partner podcast, where the only reason why they did really well in the head is they both misinterpreted both of their bidding. It was a disaster, but then something else happened and it was okay. Most of the time. Okay. And sometimes your bridge interests and goals start to diverge. And if you and your partner are growing apart, separate gracefully and stay friends. That's a very Phil thing. You know, that maybe when we get more serious and really wants to discuss the hands after. I have one of my bridge friends and we go play and she has no interest in ever discussing the hands afterward. Don't criticize. One of my first bridge teachers ever said, if you ask your partner, why did they do something? You better listen. And distinguish between mistakes and a good choice that worked out poorly. Good decisions can have bad outcomes and vice versa. This is all about being kind. Marvel at the infinite variety of the game and so many hands where no one knows what to do. I know all of us have had the time where you're looking at your hand going, this hand appears to have absolutely nothing I've ever been taught. You know? And once in a while.
Okay, wait. This is where we leave.
This is where you leave. Bye.
We're out of here. Marcus, can we go to our room now? Oh, thank you, Marcus. Have fun, you guys.
Okay. Okay.
Well, as Phil wrote, Dana and I played in a $4.99 game for years before dipping toes into the open game. So that's that they decided to go with the big sharks. Okay. So this is something super fun. Once in a while, you get a huge hand. And these are some examples. How many points we got there?
22.
22 high card points. And you're sitting there going, oh my. And remember, if there's 40 total, you have a lot in your hand. Here's another example. You can add a little bit more for length. These hands require very little from partner to make game because we're shooting for what game of 25, 26 points. You're so close. And you need to let your partner, you need to let her know, here I'm sitting here with a huge hand. And it's called a 2-club opener. Partner, if your partner opens with 2 clubs, it's a very, very special, exciting moment. Your partner is yelling, I have a huge hand. And you're thinking, you go, okay, we are going to have some fun. And I also think about Phil's also metaphor is like, you know, you're I can't remember, I wish we could put in the chat. It's something about like you're about to hit a home run because you know you actually have lots of points, so don't panic. You should be happy, don't panic. A 2-club opening bid is almost game forcing. So these are all these hands, you would open 2 clubs. And that's how you open 2 clubs.
And Martha, that's a demand bid?
Yeah, he's going to talk about that. So people in the demand bid, that means that you have to say something to it because that 2 club has absolutely nothing to do with clubs. If you look at these hands, do they have a lot of clubs? No, it's about the points. It's a very unique, special bid. Your next bid will say, I'm balanced. Let's see. Okay, you've got to communicate. So there are different kinds. So you're looking at on the one on the left, the balanced hand, you're going to communicate again to your partner that I have a balanced hand. And then the one on the right, you're going to communicate, I have a good suit. And there's a whole special way where you're going to learn how to do that.
Oh, good.
Okay. So you're sitting there, your partner just said 2 clubs, and you're getting all excited because, oh my God, my partner has a lot of points and we're going to play this hand. A responder must bid. That's what it is. It's a demand bid. And how big is that must? That's a really big must.
Even if they don't have any points?
Even if they don't have any points. 95% of the time, responder bids 2 diamonds, no matter what she has, even if she has no points. Because remember, that two clubs only says I have 22 or more high card points.
And what does two diamonds mean?
So that's what we call, it's called kind of like a waiting, or what did Chris call it? Call it a waiting
Yeah, we
bid?
call it a waiting bid and
Yeah,
it just, as you can see, two diamonds is just one up from two clubs. So they're using these bids as what we call conventions. They're a bid that doesn't really mean that suit, but it's a convention to say, I got 22 points. The partner says, okay, what do you got? And so that's exactly what it means. They're speaking
So-
in code.
So what if the partner has 6 diamonds and a couple of honors?
Well,
Oh.
she'll tell the opener later, but
yeah,
right now,
Phil's gonna cover this in his talk.
yeah,
Let's.
you want to
let's-
hear what the opener has, the one with
Yeah.
the 22 points. You want to know what they have.
So first, your partner says, I have a huge, huge hand. You're like, awesome. And two dimes, you're like, oh, tell me more about your hand.
Okay.
Responder also must make a second bid after opener clarifies what she has. Remember, opener may have game all by herself. So there's going to be, we have a lot of time. This is when Phil would also point out, you can go slow because you know you're going to be in game. You don't have to panic. We're going to go slow and have a slow conversation, be a good partner and listen and see where we're going to go. Responder must make a second bid after opener clarifies what she has. So let's see what happens now, except, and then always except one case, well, I'll mention at the end. So that will answer that question. Okay, so what do you respond after a two club bid? So 95% of the time you bid two diamonds, no matter if you have 0 points or you have, what's a total you could have? You could possibly have 18. That would be unbelievable. You have all the points. Why do you respond that two diamonds, even if you have nothing? So you can learn what opener has. It gives your partner more chance to explain, not only do I have a lot of points, let me tell you, remember, is my hand balanced? Do I have a suit? Let's figure out where we're going with this. Well, most people call this two diamonds a waiting bid. Oh, I got that right. A waiting bid. All right. Here are some examples. Okay, so example number 1, your partner opened up two clubs and you're sitting there with 7, 9. You don't have a lot of length. You got 9 points. Your partner has 22. So together you have at least 29. What are you going to say?
No, they have 31.
31. So I didn't do my math right. So you're like, oh, we got combined strength, closer at to slam. And okay, let's look at the second one. You have 4 high card points, and you have a little length in the diamonds. So you have 5 points, you have 22 and 5, so you're also getting to game. Despite this pile of junk, you probably have game. Because your partner is sitting there
Well, you
drooling.
got a singleton too, so you
Yeah,
know.
that's right. Yeah, you can reevaluate for the singleton. So that's which I always forget to do once again. Okay. But we don't know where we're going yet. Is it a no trump? Are we going to be in a suit or what's going on? What is going on? All these cases, what do?
Two diamonds. I love this.
Yeah, you bid two diamonds. And you say, "Ooh, tell me more. Tell me more." I'm surprised you didn't have a Grease thing for that song. Tell me more. Tell me more. Opener's next bid will then help resolve where we're going with this. Where are we going? So first, two clubs, two diamonds, and let me tell you more about my hand. The opener rebid after the club bid, as in the case with most bids, describes your hand. So you start with two clubs. They pass because you have so many points between you, two diamonds. Now, if the opener has this hand, this is the first example of the balanced hand. He's going to communicate. He wants to communicate. I have a balanced hand. What might you say to after that two diamonds that would communicate a balanced hand?
Two no trump.
Yeah. So he's suggesting
Ah,
with 22, 24 high card points, two no trump. If you have enough per game on your own. You could just go with 3 no trump. She who knows goes. I'm sitting here with enough points, playing no trump all by myself. I'm gonna do that. And he says, with 28 or more, you're had an amazing day, buy a lottery ticket.
So you can't count the length in, oh, if it's balanced, you have length. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be 15 to 17 points.
Well, remember, you have
22.
you have 22 points in your hand.
Right. So, but you could do 2 no trump or 3 no trump with those points. It doesn't, you don't have to have 15 to 17.
It's moot because she's already opened with 2 clubs.
I see.
Yeah, because you started at 2 clubs, your partner says 2 diamonds, and now you're telling more. So I'm telling you, I have a balanced hand, and these are the points I have based on if it's 2 no trump or 3 no trump. I've never had a hand where I had 26, 27 balanced hands. That'd be exciting. Okay, let's see. And then here's the other example when it had the long spade suit.
Ooh.
So what do you think you want to tell your partner now? I got this.
2 spades.
Yeah, I got all these spades. Let's see. So you read it and say, I have a spade suit with 2 spades.
Would you say 2 or 3?
Go slow. We want to go slow. I'm thinking he says 2. Say 2 spades. Say, I have a spade suit. Then to a complete auction. Here's another one. So here's the opener with a spade suit, the long spade suit, and the responder was sitting there with 4 high card points, an extra point for the long diamonds, and we're going to reevaluate and add some more points for that singleton club. So 2 clubs, you're listening to your partner, but my partner has a huge hand, and I'm going to say what?
2 diamonds.
2 diamonds.
2 diamonds. And then opener is going to start telling you, let me tell you more about my hand.
2 spades. Yeah.
Yeah, I got 2 spades. Now you're sitting there and we figured out we have at least, what do we say, 5, 6, 7 points and 4 spades. And we know our partner has 22 points. Are we going to get to? Let's see what he suggests to do next.
4 spades.
4 spades.
And both the spades.
Yeah, so the questions are where and how high. So you're thinking, okay. Let's play it in 4 spades.
4 spades. Why not 3 spades?
Well, you know you have game.
Already got it.
26 points. She who knows goes. So you know your partner has 22 points. I have enough to get to 26 and 4 spades, and I have at least 3 spades. So we have a perfect fit in spades.
Thank you.
You bring up a good point, actually. It's more sophisticated. If you as the responder have more points, you like spades, that's when the more points you have, you go slower. So you would say 3 spades, and now the opener might bid a second suit, perhaps, if they had a second suit. So you have more time to exchange information and perhaps get to slam. So the quicker you close it out, it means you, the responder, are not interested. You're just saying, we have enough for game, that's it, and let's go.
So what would you come back with if they said 3 spades? Would you go to?
Yeah, I don't know. In this one, they might ask for aces because the responder is showing some sparks of life. And what they're worried about is obviously where's the ace of hearts and where's the ace of clubs. So they might ask, I don't know if you've gotten to asking about aces.
No.
Have you? Okay. Anyway, there's conventions that ask, how many aces do you have, responder? And if they say 1, I mean, opener might go off in to the races because they're showing points and they have at least 1 ace. So they probably can make 6 spades.
Yeah, some of us have done 1430 and then we some people
In this case, as you can see, they're off 2 aces. So they cannot make 6.
Mhm.
Unless for some reason they decided not to lead any of those, things, and then they could pull trump and maybe run some diamonds and get rid of the losers. So it would take a lot of luck for the opponents not to discover their 2 aces.
Would they try 5 spades?
No, no point.
Yeah, they might end up in 5 spades because opener would realize I'm missing 2 aces. And with the wrong lead, let's say they led spades. Well, now she's got a chance. She pulls all the opponent's trump and then runs the diamonds, and she's got 2 extra diamonds to throw off her losers. So she might get rid totally of like the king X of clubs or the king X of hearts. So making 6, but it's because of defensive error,
Yeah.
not taking their aces. Anyway, that's more, I didn't mean to take up all that.
Mhm.
But the motto is go slow if you have the points, and just, it's what they call fast arrival. Okay, you said spades, I like spades, boom, 4 spades. Partner, I'm not interested in anything more. You play your 4 spades.
Chris, that's very helpful though. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so here's another complete auction. We have the opener hand and the responder hand. So guess what the opener does? Sitting there with a lot of points. And
And
and then remember, when your partner opens up 2 clubs, you have to say,
2
Two
diamonds.
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 holy smoke, here's our 22, and I'm sitting there with 11. We are getting to slam.
Well, you
Oh
have
my
to say something.
Right, so you had to say something. 2 diamonds, 2 more. And I'm coming back and saying, well, I have a balanced hand and I have 22 to 24.
Mhm.
high
I was
points.
gonna
So
say,
that's-
maybe when I get back, you can help me with that book.
Okay. And again, there says 2 questions, where and how high are we going? Because the responder actually knows a lot more about the opener hand than the opener knows about the responder hand. at this point.
Mhm.
So if we have enough do we have enough? We have enough
Yeah.
for small slam.
Could
which
you,
is-
excuse me, could you guys, when you're having back talk in the background, just mute yourselves, please? Makes it easier for all of us. Thank you.
So you're saying going, oh my, we have enough for a small slam. And then you go, you're thinking, she who knows goes. Just go right to game.
Oh. Whoa. Oh,
And then if I you just pass. There we go.
So what's the number like that you need to know you have to make a small slam?
33.
Okay.
So they have 33. And remember, the 2 clubs means 22 plus high card points. So there's still a little bit more information out there. The same way that like a 1 no trump is 15 to 17. There is a little wiggle room, and depending on your hand, you might sometimes need to figure out, do we have enough to get to a grand slam or small slam? Okay. So, and then people always ask, well, do I always say 2 diamonds? Remember he said about 95% of the time. I don't even know what this is. Let's see. Responder bids her own suit only in this situation. At least a 5-card suit,
okay.
2 of the 3 honors, or at least 8 high card points.
is this any or all of these conditions?
I think you have to have
It's
all of them.
all of those
All of them,
conditions.
okay.
All.
I would just-
Unless you satisfy. Oh, see, look, Joel, you're a plant. All
Okay.
these, the most important thing is to bid 2 diamonds to give opener room to describe their hand. And again, this is a little bit like for people who remember who've learned Stamen, is that you want them to have if you're going to be in a suit contract, you want to have the strong hand hidden. You don't want to talk about your suit until they've said their suit, because you don't want the big hand down on the dummy. Okay, so here's another example. Let's see if we figure all these things. So you have to have 5-card suit, 2 of the 3 top honors, and at least 8 high card points. I'm never gonna remember this. Someone else will have to remember this. Okay, I have a huge hand. Okay, let's look here. So they have a 5-card suit.
Look at
They
that.
have
conveniently.
2 of the 3 top honors, the ace and the queen of spades. And they have how many high card points?
8.
8, what a surprise. Okay.
Oh, imagine that.
So, this is the one example that maybe you would say something different. Let's see. 5 plus spades, at least 2 of the 3 spade honors, and at least 8 high card points. You can say 2 spades. I never actually was taught this. It's sort of interesting. Okay.
Oh, my God.
But this is a very, remember, this is such a, don't, if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't worry about this. Number one, because there's not that many times your partner has this many points. And then this example is like, I mean, statistically, where's Phil? He's probably typing how often this actually happens. Let's see. He's been chatting in the chat. Okay. All right. Let's see if I'll say something. Okay. So here it is. I have, if the opener happens to have this hand, she can immediately look for a grand slam, a spade grand slam, and settle for 6 when she finds out the ace of hearts is missing. So you need 37 points
I don't
to
know.
get to a grand slam. So opener says 2 clubs. You're sitting there with those 3 things, which like I've already forgotten. What is it? It's 5-card suit, 2 of the top 3 honors in that suit, and at least 8 high card points. Then you can tell, hey, I have this. And then, so now your partner knows that you have 8 high card points and the 5 of spades. So you're getting up to, that.
You're only getting up to 30 there, though, aren't
Yeah.
you? Okay.
30.
I don't think that's even close.
Okay, so after,
It's a singleton.
oh yeah, we didn't reevaluate. You have to reevaluate for that.
Yeah. Go back because of the length in the clubs and then it's unbalanced. This is where playing in a suit helps them because they can rough losers, trump the loser.
Yeah.
You can see how, that singleton.
And you bring up a good point. Oftentimes a slam can be made with fewer than 33 points because of what they call roughing capability, the ability to trump your loser with a baby trump. And same with game. You're taught that game is normally 25 or 26 points, but if you have imbalance, and you can rough your losers, games can be made with far fewer points, like 22, 21, that kind of thing. So those are guidelines. Every time they say, oh, it takes, 25 points to do this and that, again, because of distribution, unbalanced hands, you can often make more with fewer points.
Chris,
Martha, is it going to show the complete bidding on this? Because what does the opener say after the response?
The two spades, well, they're jumping for joy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm in the wrong class. I just lost power. I came back in. I'm in your class. I should be in with Deborah. How do I get back in?
Call for Marcus.
Oh, for Marcus.
Call for call for Deborah.
Well, we
Marcus
call
will
for
put you back
Marcus.
in.
so Martha, I want to ask a question. Are we going to learn now how they can find out they don't have the ace of hearts?
We're not gonna, I think we're not gonna do the whole asking for aces today because we're at a little bit of overload. I think we're almost at the end of this presentation, but that's another thing that we would do in a different day.
Thanks.
Okay. So he's, wait, I'm gonna go back. Oh, wait, where are we? Okay,
I mean, I
so
know that you'd say.
okay, so this is another big hand with your no trump. We have a balanced hand again. So it's the 2 clubs, 2 diamonds. Come back to say, I have 2 no trump, which means what did it was 22 to 24 high card points. And you're sitting there.
Means 2 no
with
trump.
Those points, 22 to 24. Can we get to 3 no trump? I have a huge hand. Tell me more. It's balanced, 22 to 24 high card points.
Now you can do Stamen.
game, but no trump or in spades. So that's interesting. So they're going, what, it's like, where, remember the question you're asking, where and how high? We have enough for game, but should we go in no trump or in spades? So let's see what he says.
Spades.
Don't know that you'll.
The statement makes sense.
There we go. So this is the same example that Joel said, that you're doing the statement, but instead of doing it at the 2 clubs, you're doing it 3 clubs. Damon's asking, after a 2 no trump, do you have a 4-card major? I'm sitting here with 4 spades. I hope maybe you have 4 spades.
Oh,
So when you say then use your no trump machinery, if you had 5 hearts, you could do a transfer.
You could do a Jacoby transfer.
Yes, indeed.
Whatever that is, okay.
The people that know that.
Over
But-
my
but-
head. Oh, my gosh.
I know, so we're getting very, some people,
getting
this
way
this
out
is
there.
new, for other people, it's new, and that's okay. Remember, we're gonna start
Okay.
next week, we're gonna start all over from the very beginning of the mechanics.
Mhm.
Okay, so, yes, so that'd be this statement. I have 3 spades. Oh, that's great. Let's go, I think we'd be better in in a suit contract than in a no trump contract, because we always say it's a little bit easier to play a suit contract than a no trump. Okay, you are the captain. See, I got
There
that,
we go.
Phil. I got that, Phil. All right, okay, let's play in 4 spades.
yes, okay.
Okay. The 10% to remember.
This ought to be good.
Okay.
Yeah, we
2
know that.
clubs says I have a huge hand. We got to figure out. Responder cannot pass.
Pass.
Cannot pass. You always have to say 2 diamonds. Even if you have negative points, you have to say 2 diamonds.
Must be.
Okay, I think this is almost overwhelming because I was never taught this before. It's okay to bid if you meet these 3 requirements, and the chance of you remembering that when it happens, it seems very small in my book, but you know, for those of you who have a good memory, go for it. 5 cards, 2 of the 3 top honors, and at least 8 high card points.
So in fact, you never really bit, I mean, if you had clubs in sufficient numbers to open at 2 clubs, you wouldn't do it. You'd,
Oh.
because
It's an artificial bid. Because it's more important to say that you might end up in clubs in the end, but you're not at the very beginning.
A question, if you have, obviously, if you have these 5 cards in a suit and 2 of the top 3 and at least 8 points in hearts or spades, you would bid that. But would you do it in a minor? Would you go to 3 diamonds or 3 clubs if those?
No, you should just say 2 diamonds. Let the opener tell you what they have.
So these rules here of bidding the suit is only if those apply to your major.
I would say so. And sometimes even people who have that requirement in spades, they don't say it because they want to leave room all at the 2 level to allow
Okay.
the opener to describe the hand.
Got it.
Sometimes when you say 2 spades, now the opener has to describe stuff at the 3 level. And it's what we call taking up the bidding space.
Right.
So
Okay.
again, because you guys are probably going to be talking, the opponents don't have that many points, so they're not interjecting.
Mhm.
You want to still give a lot of room to be talking back and forth. I have hearts, I have spades, blah, 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 all this information at the 2 level. So there's no point, obstructing things and forcing your partner to now describe at the 3 level.
Is there ever a case of an intervening bid?
Sometimes, yes. 2
And
clubs,
then-
somebody might immediately say 3 clubs or double because they have a huge, 7 cards of clubs headed to the ace, king, queen, jack, whatever. And if they want to tell the partner, if you ever have to lead, and you may have to, please lead the clubs,
So does that let the responder off the hook?
It may, but if they have points, they're not going to shut up, right?
Right.
So it could be 2 clubs double, right? Or 2 clubs, 3 clubs. And then the responder, if they have points, it's a duty to explain to the opener, hey, don't let them take the, contract away from us. We have game, or I have points, and if they want to get frisky, you can double them for penalty, but it's a dialogue of which the responder has to, show some signs of life.
Hey, Chris, I have a
At
question.
the level that we're playing, it would be pretty rare for it to happen.
Yeah.
Phil
I would
says-
think so.
I have
Yeah,
a question.
But I'm gonna say, Phil, for a question someone had, Phil had an answer about when you might bid a real club. So opener would say 2 clubs, responder would say 2 diamonds, and then opener would say 3 clubs. So you are saying, I actually have clubs for my suit.
Right.
Question, do you, if you have, want to bid 2 clubs, there's something new here for me. You do count length towards towards 22 points?
Yes.
It's not just 22 high card points, it's 22.
I would say
Yeah.
you better stick to the 22, just stick to
No,
the 22.
And
22
everyone,
what?
and
High
everyone
card points.
is-
High card,
He
I've
knows
always
his
played
language.
22 high card points. Here it says, or it did, somewhere, it said, or a balanced hand, or 22 points,
And
Uh,
length.
Length.
22
So, yeah,
plus,
so-
high card points plus length.
Like
Yeah,
if you have 5 in the suit, you would bid 20, you would count your length in order.
That's new for me. In other words, you can count length towards the 22 points.
Yes.
Okay.
and
I have a
And
question.
again,
I'm
Phil
with-
said it's a part of a partnership agreement. That's something, if you're not comfortable with that, you and your partner say, if I have 2 clubs, it has to only be high card points. So that's
Okay.
something to talk about with your partner.
and
Thank you.
everybody is using the same, is this a convention? I don't know the language.
Yes, it's a convention that everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
Yes, and because it's a convention, which means it's a artificial bid, that's why 2 clubs cannot be passed, right? Because the person could have 22 points and it's spade oriented. So
Yeah.
if you pass the 2 clubs, now the opponents are gonna just shut their mouth and say, really? You're gonna pass 2 clubs? Thank you very much.
I have
maybe-
a question. If you're the opponent here, that your opponent opens 2 clubs, and you know that that the partner of the opener needs to bid, can you use that opportunity to bid just to give your partner a suit to lead with?
Absolutely. Yes, interference is good because they're bidding artificial bids, 2 clubs. Now you could say 3 clubs, or it could go 2 clubs past 2 diamonds. And then the other person says double, as in I have diamonds, because they're bidding an artificial bid. So yes, and interfering with when people are trying to talk is a very big inconvenience. It's like, why did they have to stick their nose in there? I was trying to describe myself, and then now
So
they're
you
at the
accomplish
3
a
diamond
couple
level.
things. You not only interfere, but you're also telling your partner what to lead. You're giving information to your partner about
Yes,
your hand as
yes.
well. And
Mhm.
it's safe to do, right? Because
So let me just finish up because we're getting close to the hour.
I'm not
And
sure
we need to
about
take a
that.
break. So, okay. So again, let me just, this is a 10% to remember. You don't have to remember everything, remember, and you are going to use this about 3 times and fail before you actually do it well. I have a huge hand. The responder cannot pass. You always have to bid 2 diamonds as a waiting. Tell me more. And there's that one rare example, which we're not going to focus on because it's pretty rare. And then responder will is going to make a second bid.
Yes.
Can pass the opener's 2 no trump bid, rebid rare if you have 0 or no major suits to run on. So there's a few examples when you might be stuck at 2 no trump, but it'd be pretty rare for you not to have at least 3 points in your hand.
Yeah.
Some people have different agreements. Some people have slightly different criteria of suit oriented. We talked a little bit about that already. You would talk about with your partner, how you get to those 22 points. Okay, after 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 no trump, you can use your no trump machinery, the stamens, the transfers. Okay, so that was a lot. We are just reminding you that starting next week on Tuesday, we're going to go through the beginning cycle again of all of the card play and then on to defense. And Deborah's adult brand newbies are all going to become part of our regular session. It's going to be exciting for them. They'll be a little overwhelmed and you will feel a little bit like, oh, I know this stuff, and you're going to feel great. So that's good. And what we're going to do for the beginning of those week, we're going to really focus on card play and not bidding. So we will have pre-bid hands. The coach will explain the bidding, and then we'll really focus on playing out the hand. So that's what's going to start happening this week. Okay, and I think that's the end of the,
So
and then,
where are you now on this week thing?
so next,
Ne-
we are not, next week we'll start one in the yellow. And then and then we're gonna do the focus on the bidding at the end of these 24 sessions. So we're gonna do playing, defense, and bidding. And so today, we're gonna play 4 hands. Everyone's gonna sit south at their own table. You're going to bid quietly and then wait to discuss the bidding. And then we're going to go back. If the bidding is not right, you can go undo and do the bidding right. And then we're going to play quietly and discuss the play. And if we have more time, we'll play random hands on Bridge Bates Online, BBO. And if you're a newbie, depending on your room, we haven't talked a lot about bidding, or your bidding is fairly different than you used to do it. We'll talk about the bidding, and other places will you can do the bidding and then talk about it. Okay, I think that's all. Yes. So there we go. Okay.